Yes, yes, yes. Salutations, salutations, everyone. Thank you so much for being back in the building with me. I know I haven't done any content in a couple of weeks, but I just wanted to make sure that I just kind of live a little bit more, just kind of give you more commentary to discuss with you. So here I am again with one of my great interviews. I've been blessed with the opportunity to have this person on. So I had to make sure that I put my bra on so I could come before you so we could we could just discuss more things about him being a registered nurse, also being an entrepreneur as well as a content creator as well. So, I'm doing my little intro and then I'm going to bring to you. He goes by the name of Humble Start Will. So here we go.
I'm coming up, I'm pressing on, I'm getting over, I'm an I'm coming up, I'm pressing on, I'm getting over it, I'm an overcomer.
And here he is in the building, Nurse Will. Hello, Nurse.
Hello,
Hey, all
hello.
right, all right. How are you? But before we start, Will, I need a favor from you. I need you to help
Okay,
me out with something because today happens to be my mom's birthday. So
okay.
I want you to sing with me. I want you to sing happy birthday to my mom for me. Can you do that?
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
do
I
it.
mean, I hope we don't lag or anything. You know how StreamYard is sometimes. So I hope we're able to do this to each other. But if not, that's all right. We can still harmonize in our own way. So, all right, you ready?
Let's do it.
One, two, three. Happy
Happy birthday
birthday to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to
to
mama.
you. Yes. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday
dear
to
mother.
mama.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to
to you. Yes.
I like that. Let's lighten up the room.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope she catches this. Thank you, Mom. I love you so much. That's my queen. So thank you so much for celebrating with me on that, Will. I appreciate you participating.
Oh yeah.
All right. All right. So question, Will, before we begin this interview, I'm just curious, what made you decide to accept my invite?
Oh man, I just been looking around, and I actually after I saw your invite, I like to kind of look at the content that the person produces, and I like the things that you had going on. So definitely wanted to accept the invite, and I know that just getting the story out there to as many people that can see it is very
Yes.
important because my goal is just to inspire people coming behind me, and even people that are already in the same position as me. So.
And yes, and I'm glad you said that. And thank you, by the way. Thank you for that. Because I tell my mom because when I have been doing my content and she watches my videos, she's watching my interviews, and so she always said that she want more people from her generation, as she says. And I'm like, I get it, and I do understand that. But for one, a lot of people from your generation is not doing as much content like that. I mean, they are out there,
Mhm.
but it's not as much. But also, you have to understand that from whether it's a millennials or Gen Zs or whoever, XYZ, PRQ, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
There's so much that I have learned, even at my big age, is so much I have learned from doing if I've been on my platform. I've been on this platform since May of this past year. So I've been blessed with the opportunity to just get so much gems from so many people. So it's like you can't always go within the age bracket. You gotta be a little bit more open minded to the idea that you can learn so much from so many different people. And I'm so inspired by those
Absolutely.
that came before me. So I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah,
Okay. Definitely.
yeah,
No, I agree.
yeah. Thank you. So yes, so Will, is that short for William? Because that's my son's name.
Y- Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, my son's name. So yes, so how did I come up? Humble start, Will. What made you coin yourself that?
Humble Star Will. So Humble Star Will has a lot of history. So first I came up with the name. So it started off initially as Humble Start. Humble Start was my clothing line that I started in college. It was during a time that I was kind of having a dark time because I grew up. sports was like one of the most important things in my life. Like that was something that kept me grounded. That was something where I built some of my strongest connections in terms of friendship. And then coming from St. Louis, Missouri, sports is something that's really pushed upon us. So that was one of my biggest goals is to make it to college playing basketball on a scholarship, and I did. However, during when I was in school, the first game of the season, I broke my hand.
Mm.
So that's what kind of shifted my
Wow.
mindset with everything altogether. I was always an entrepreneur. That's because that's what I grew up around. So I knew working in my own business and just being my own boss, so to say. I know that's kind of overused, but definitely that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't feel that way. No, I don't feel
Yeah, I
that way
think
at all.
so. Okay, no,
No,
that's
no.
good. But yeah, like I said, be my own boss. I knew that was always the goal. But then when I actually had to sit down, when I'm talking months of rehab, months at a time, I
Mm.
was really able to kind of reflect, and I was like, dang, what do I want my life to look like going forward? So that's when I pushed. I took the leap into starting my own clothing line from scratch. When I was like I said, I was doing the designing, I was doing the fulfillment. I was doing the graphics. I was doing everything
You
under the
did.
sun
So you
myself.
was hands on. You was hands on with everything.
100% hands on. So and I named it Humble Start. And I'm like, I'm already a humble guy. That's what a lot of people know me for and they love me for. So I'm like, hey, I'm about to embody this. So
Yes.
then as I became older and on my journey, Humble Start like outgrew just the clothing. So then
Mm.
that's when I'm like, okay, I don't want to just put myself in a box solely on clothing. Like that's what a lot of people like that didn't know me personally knew me for. Of course, they knew me for different content, but I was kind of one foot in and one foot out. But I said, okay, I'm gonna make this more. I mean, I'm gonna grow this past just the clothing. So now that's why I kind of encapsulated it into like a media company throughout.
Mm.
So I still remain myself, and I'm kind of glad that I stuck to what was true for me, being humble start will, because as I see other creators, they kind of put a ceiling or a box over
Yes.
themselves because they
Yes.
say, okay, I
Mhm.
want to be nurse will, or I want to be this will or that will. So then when your community and your audience finds you and then you want to do things that are outside of their realm, they're like,
Yes.
hey,
Mhm.
your nurse will. We don't really come to see you travel the world. We don't really come to see you about your entrepreneur journey or how you're growing your media business. So I said, okay, let me stay true to myself and go
And
with my name,
right.
Humble Star
Right.
Will.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. Yes.
Hmm.
And congratulations on that. And and whatever it takes you, because it's only up from here. So yes. So congratulations on that, on
Yeah,
that journey.
thank
So
you.
thank you for sharing that. By the way. Yeah.
Mhm.
So now I want to go to the beginning. Because there were humble beginnings. You have the humble start. You want to something because there's humble beginnings.
Yep.
Right? And it started in St. Louis. Yes.
Yeah, started in St. Louis,
Yeah.
Missouri.
Yeah, St. Louis, Missouri. And so, how was that like for you upbringing? Like, I always wanted, always, like I said, I love to hear this childhood stories because, whether it was a single parent household, two parent household, siblings, cousins, kickball in the street, or whatever, I just like to hear about your humble beginnings. Can you start there?
Okay, yeah. So my humble start started in 1998. So I'm still, I'm still a young
Oh,
pup if you ask a lot of people. But
wow. That's
yeah, so
amazing. Then let me pause right there, Will, because I
uh
mean, the fact you said, because my son just turned 27, so it's just so amazing to me.
okay.
And this is exactly what I was. Mom, I hope you're watching this, by the way. I was trying to tell her, you see how you from that piece that you mentioned about your being able to elevate from the humble start will brand because it is a brand.
Hmm.
Let's put that out there. So the fact that she was able in just a little piece right there alone at
Yeah.
27 years old, that's what I was talking about when I said, just the inspiration of it all, being able to, as a young person as yourself. And there was a lot of us again within my generation or my mom's generation that didn't really able to achieve that, unfortunately, for different reasons. We don't really, there's different reasons, but just the fact that you were able to achieve that and you just remain innovative in that space. So I just wanted to kind of insert that. So yeah.
Oh
Alright,
yeah.
carry on.
Definitely. Okay, so so growing up in St. Louis, it was tough. It was tough. St. Louis was and has been like one of the most dangerous cities, like number
Mhm,
one in the murder rates and crimes, violent and heinous crimes, things like that. So it was tough learning how to navigate. It definitely made you very adaptive, very strong-willed. Um, so it was like, so I feel like looking back, we went through just growing up within it. Even though I had amazing parents, even though we
okay.
had our own struggles, where it, our parents were together, and then it'll be situations where one had to go away and things of that nature. It was tough at times, but it was like it was normal. I remember like looking back, like just from my high school 4 years, we probably lost over 30 people in the high
Mm,
school. And then none of these none of these situations are from natural causes. Like these are like
yeah,
serious big deals. So when I actually branched out and moved away, and I would reflect and talk to people, they like, wow, that's not normal. Like,
mhm,
did you guys seek help? And did you guys get these resources? And those just didn't exist at the time.
mhm.
So like I said, we always found comfort, brotherhood, companionship from sports. you know Me always had an educational background. Like in high school, I graduated magna cum laude. Even
They
out of
had that in high
mercy.
school?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Yep.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that. Oh, okay, I thought that was college. So see, I'm learning something right there. I didn't even
uh-huh.
know. Okay,
Yep.
but
so
we'll get to
I
high school, but pause, put a
Okay,
bookmark on
okay.
that one because I
Put a
wanna
bookmark
establish
on
a
that.
timeline. Yeah, I wanna do a
Just a
chronological thing. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool,
So
cool.
yeah, so when you mentioned about, because I understand what you were saying about St. Louis and, because you hear things and you've done your, doing research but when you say that you had to, subject yourself to so much, can you
Mhm.
give a few examples of that, Will? Like, growing up, in childhood. So, I mean, we're still in childhood here.
It's
So I
still in
just wanna
childhood.
yeah,
Still in
so I just
childhood.
wanna get some ideas about it was like, what you had to endure
What
and
we
have
had
to
to endure.
triumph. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I said, and just in childhood, just losing family members, going to more funerals than weddings, than graduations. Seeing families that suffer from drug abuse, overdose, just seeing the communities kind of get ripped to shreds. This is what we see growing up, and then it's like the only comfort is, hey, sports. That'll be the best way out. But my household was very grounded, and they always emphasized education,
Yeah.
education and entrepreneurship.
Mhm,
My mother was an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur as well. Like I said, they had their trials and tribulations, but they always showed me what it looked like. They showed me, hey, you can dibble and dabble over here, but make sure that you're grounded in something. So I always came up with that mindset. But St. Louis just gave the adaptiveness, be able to battle through adversity. It just makes you a different type of
mhm.
person. And I'm blessed to be able to endure those things, because now going forward, sometimes it'll be very tough situations that people are going through. And I'm like, oh, that's nothing to me.
It's not
Like I
right.
said,
Yeah,
it's just because what
it's
we
right,
already been through.
right,
Not saying that
right.
that's ideal, but it's just reality,
It's just part of
you know?
yes, yes.
Mhm.
And so, but I'm glad that you was able to, and that's why it's such a blessing to have, parents that are present because you
Mhm.
got parents. We all have parents, right?
Oh yeah.
We all have, we are parents, but there's some that have their own inner demons or some that are not as present, but you have parents who are present. And that
Mhm.
made a difference of how you navigate it, throughout that time of your life, right? So
Yes.
I'm so glad that you were able to have, parents who now you said that you have parents who showed you and kind of guided you towards being grounded. Can you give me some ways of how they did that?
Definitely being role models.
Okay.
For example, my mother owned, she's a beautician and owned her own shop
Oh,
for over
nice.
30 years. So I've seen her like from work from scratch. Her My dad was a carpenter as well, so to see them get a shop, remodel it, remaster it, and then
Mm,
actually work the logistics on running a business. So
mm,
I saw that, but like I said, education was always a strong pillar. Like when I used to visit my family members and friends, nobody had books. I had a
mm.
bookshelf in my in my room filled with books, even though, like, just looking back, even though I didn't really understand the importance of it, it was there.
It was
So,
there.
hey, I could pick up a book, read it, get it read to me, whatever. That stuff comes back as you're older and you can actually see the importance behind it.
Mm. Yeah, and I'm
Mhm.
and that's such a blessing because when you said about reading, literacy, and I wish that I still have, that ability to really get into books now and my as an adult, but as a child, yes. I mean, I've read and I was very taken on the interest, but as I got older, I'm being honest with you. Full disclosure here. I got to get back into that space,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
because the stimulation is there. So I'm so glad that you picked up on that so early. The earlier the better. So I'm glad you was able to pick up on that. But I want to get into Will junior. I always like to get into the elementary, junior high school, part.
Okay.
Because there's so many memories, and I always tell people that I interview with about the self discovery process when it comes to that. Because we don't talk about that. We go
Okay.
through because we
I
think
like
that
that.
elementary, junior high school is just a phase in our lives, but no, it's something about self discovery. Because like I said before, we talk about we discover our inner selves at that time. And I think a lot of times, especially adults, is taken for granted as children growing up between that time. Like I said, I'm still on elementary and I'm still on junior high. Okay.
Mhm.
And there's a reason why I ask about that, because a lot of times we take for granted the space in our lives as children. We know more than you think, people. As children, we know more than you think. So we know we develop the ability to discover ourselves, our anatomy, how to interact, our interpersonal skills, building our vocabulary, and school lunches, and hopscotch and skis, and humping in the staircase, kissing a girl if you liked it. So there's so many things we discover in ourselves. I'm just being honest with you. So I want to
100%.
get into that. I want to get into that. Before we do, Will, I just want to welcome some of our guests. This is shout out to Miss Stevie. I hope you're still in the chat. She's a person, like when I started my YouTube channel, she's one of my inspirations, and especially with the space of interviewing. Miss
Okay.
Stevie is one of my inspirations. So shout out to her. And I hope that you're able to collaborate with her as well. I'm hoping that you'll do able to do that,
Perfect.
because she's
Sounds
great.
good to
Yeah,
me.
she's great. Yeah. So shout out to Miss Stevie. Shout out to Nancy Cunningham. Um, let's see, Grandma Gertrude. I don't know if you're familiar with any of these people, but that's okay. So I just want to shout out to my guests in the building, those who are in the
Okay.
chat live in real time on my Instagram live. Shout out to those people on Instagram live. Michelle Greedo, Ty Packer. Shout out to Tony Rebel. Shout out to my friend Tony and Good Mitch. Those who are joining live with me. Those who are in the bushes that don't want to say anything, but they're watching from afar. Thank you so much for being here, and those who pawn the replay as well after this. So any way that you support of myself as well as Will, we appreciate it wholeheartedly. So thank you so much. All right, so
Absolutely.
back to you. All right, so all righty. So yeah, so I just want to get try to set the tones,
Mhm.
of the elementary and junior high school experience for you. All right.
Okay. So elementary and junior high school, I feel like that was a huge discovery time for myself. Um, this was the time where my parents knew like where we were living, it wasn't the best schooling system and they wanted better for their children. So this is where we moved across town more to the county area
Okay.
for better schooling. And this is where I noticed first person what white flight was, because where
Mm,
we moved, it was predominantly white area. However, it was very diverse, but predominantly white. But as the times progressed, you would definitely see all of the families uproot their children and take off. But like I said, I was still able to experience what it was like living in a diverse setting, because St. Louis, like just say from that time being a child and on up, maybe I'm just to throw this out there, my high school was probably 90% black. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So
okay.
but when I started in middle school, it wasn't that. So I was able to seek guidance from other cultures, learn about what other people are going through, what they enjoy. I feel like that was great for discovery. At this point, I was in band. At this point, I was
Yes.
actually just
Yes.
starting content creating, which is funny because a lot of people like, wow, you're doing so amazing. You're doing it. I've been doing it since then. I remember 2000, was it 2008 when YouTube first started? I was
Uh-huh.
on there actually. I still have videos on there in 2000 from 2008 skateboard and having 500 views
Oh,
back then.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
so I was
amazing.
yeah, so I was playing sports. I was, of course, in school doing great, just exploring in band, and so I was just, I'll say, growing in my creative nature at that time. So that's
Yes,
still
absolutely.
I can still see that little kid today coming out when I'm on camera, when I'm excited about doing something new. So it was a huge time for discovery. Like I say, still going through the trials and tribulations of life as a kid. You don't really notice it. You just kind of living within it. Like having to come
You tolerate a lot, absolutely. Yes.
exactly coming home alone. My parents are busy or they're working, they have to make sure they grind and do all of these things to support the family. So, okay, I'm here alone. Okay, I got to lock up by myself. I need to make sure that this is taken care of and this responsibility that I was given needs to be done before they get back. At this time,
Mm,
it was
mhm.
mainly just me and my mother as well. Even though I have siblings, I'm the baby of the family. So at this point, all
Oh,
of
you
them
are?
are,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay,
So
so
they're seeking.
how many are you, Will? How many, siblings? How many are you?
So I have four sisters and one brother. However,
Wow,
majority of my sisters have different mothers. So in the household, it was just me and my two sisters. At this point, when I'm reaching about the middle school age, both of my sisters are graduated at this point, so they're out of the house. So it's just me. You know
gotcha.
what I'm saying? It's me and my mom had a little Yorkie Terrier. That was like my best friend because I'll be in that
Aw.
house afraid, scared. And she just right there with me. Yeah. So it was a huge time for just discovery. And I knew that my circumstance, like the circumstances that I've seen and the situations that some of my family members were in, some of them have a lot of tough, tough things going on in their life, to say the least. So I knew that I didn't want to walk that same route.
Mm.
So that was a
And you knew
difficult
then?
time. I knew
Yeah.
then. With my dad being kind of the backbone of the family, I saw how much that they all depended on him, and I saw how that hit him. So that made him make decisions that probably wasn't best for his immediate family, because okay, I have to do a little bit extra. So I got to support this person, this person, this person. So it's only a couple ways for a young black man at that time to produce that type that type of thing for their family. So I knew like, okay, it has to be another route, and I see what this can result in if you don't move correctly.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you was able to, because I know that you've maintained that from the time when you said that your parents set that example. So they
Mhm.
had that blueprint set for you. So the fact that you was able to maintain that mindset, even as early as elementary, junior high school, kudos to you for that. That's something to be proud of. All right.
Mhm.
So now you said that you was in a band. You was in a band in elementary or junior high, or both?
Both,
Both.
both.
Nice.
Yeah,
And what
played the
instrument
drums
you played?
and
Love
the
it.
xylophone.
Oh, there's okay. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
Roy. I see you, Roy Ayers. Okay. All right. You
yeah,
familiar with Roy Ayers?
yeah. A
Yes,
little, a
yes.
little bit, a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, he's responsible for, Mary J. Blige's sample of My Life.
Okay.
That was the sample. My life, my life,
My
my
life,
life,
my
my life
life.
in the sunshine. Yeah, that's Roy Ayers. Yeah. And he's a solid is xylophone. How you say it? Is xylophonist?
Yeah,
Xylophonist.
xylophones. Uh-huh.
And I love me good, I love me drums. I love me some a drummer. So yes,
Okay.
yes. All right. So now in that space and you mentioned that you were able to like us, maintain that groundedness. You was able to maintain focus,
Mhm,
you wanted to make sure you was one step ahead even at that time. So you still had that business mindset even back then. All
mhm.
right. So now going from transitioning, now okay, before we get to high school, what are some of the other things that you discovered, like I said about the self-discovery, right? Because self-discovery in elementary, junior high school, totally different level than high school. So we'll get to the high school part, but I want to know what was some of your ultimate self-discovery um when elementary and junior high school?
So elementary and junior high school, I really like learned that in the most humble way possible, I was gifted. I was different.
Mhm.
Um, for example, that's when I was admitted into the gifted program at our school, and it was like only a select few, I think less than 1% of
Mm,
kids from each
mhm.
school was able to be admitted. And then when they tested me, I think they were like, whoa, like,
Amazed.
like
Yeah.
how are your numbers like this? And it was just straight organic. So I was even tested again and still scored off the board. And also it was one time, well, actually in seventh grade, my mother took me out of school and homeschooled me for a year.
Why?
She wasn't very happy on what the school system was becoming,
Yes.
so she knew that she wanted me to be on the outside where I can excel. Because when I say from elementary school, so we went to about fifth grade, when I say the gifted program was elite,
Mhm.
we are doing high level geometry, algebra. We're in math competitions. We're dissecting pigs. We're doing like all of this top tier work as 10, 9 robotics. Like we're just doing so much. But then as we transitioned to middle school, it was kind of like, okay, we know these children are gifted, but let's just kind of keep them busy with busy work. Like we're working on
Mhm.
chess, which is great for like analytical thinking and
Yes,
being
yes.
very strategic. But we shouldn't spend a whole semester on things like this, or working on a Rubik's cube and things like that. She just
Mm,
knew that they were kind of putting a ceiling on us. But
right.
also
They weren't challenging you.
we got to consider
Yeah,
what was going on at that time. A lot of the people that were diverse were leaving.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
so she kind of felt like it was a cap. And that was also a good time where I was able to just kind of understand my faith, because that's when they were strongly instilling that into me, just to have to respect and honor a being that's outside of you. So I think that was very beneficial. And then me and her were like mano y mano. So I was with her
Mhm.
every step of the way, understanding how to run a business, how to operate, how to market, things of that nature. So I feel like that was very, very important.
Yeah, that was, and kudos to your mom. I mean, if the homeschooling is far from easy, and it's even harder to fill in those blanks, 'cause like you said, they stopped challenging you. When they, I guess they didn't really know. It sounds to me like they know what to do with y'all. At some
Yeah.
point, and so your mom just kind of stepped in and said, you know what? No, let me give my son the tools that he needs here. And as a parent, it's my responsibility anyway. So let me give my son what he needs right here. So
Yeah,
yes,
no,
shout out
definitely.
to mom for that.
Definitely, definitely. And then when I
Yeah.
went back to school and I just saw how far along I was, I was like, wow, it was like impressive. So I was like, yeah, I think I got a good future in it.
Yes. Now, okay, now when you say a good future, what at that time, because like I said, our minds change, as we go through life. So at that time, how did you think your future was gonna look at that time? What did it look like to you at that time?
Education was very important, but at that time, it was all about sports. It was all about
Okay.
sports because that's kind of what the community pushed. Like being an athlete, seeing the glamour and the praise that the community gave the athletes, and not seeing a lot of people in the educational space come back and show the fruits of their labor. All
Mm,
we saw was the athletes coming back, coming to the community, showing their nice cars, passing out this, giving out things on different holidays. So that was like, okay, education is important, but these are the people that's actually making a change in the community. So we want to be those people. So
wonderful, wonderful.
yeah, yeah. So with that being kind of the exterior role models, we were like, we have to do anything to be that. So
Mm,
that's why
yeah,
sports was just like a huge influence at that time.
at that time.
Mhm.
Okay, and when did you start playing sports?
I was
Just
probably
wait.
before I could talk. I think my dad was my basketball coach at the
Wow.
YMCA when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
And what sports were those?
It was basketball. I
Basketball.
but I explored all of the sports. It was a time I was playing everything. I was on probably like 3 or 4 teams at once. So I dibbled and dabbled in
Nice,
everything.
nice. You sound like
Yeah.
my son. How tall are you, by the way, Will?
Oh, it's about 5'11".
Oh, you thought okay, so that's average.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because my son, he got into like football, basketball. So yeah, you sound, kind of have parallel things going on. Okay,
Yeah.
but so yes, so once you discover you have all these different, discoveries, you have, you in the gifted program, you just a child prodigy. I think that's what it sounds like to me. You're a child prodigy. And so now what did you take with you or carry with you, to high school? What high school did you go to, by the way?
I went to Hazelwood Central High School in St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
what some of the things did you take with you, from like, as far as you can recall, or did you even know that you was taking anything with you or carrying anything into your transition from junior high to high school?
So for junior high to high school, sports was always very important as well. Oh, I mean, still. So it was all about training, meeting the coaches, trying to prove yourself. Especially I think when I went to high school, I was clocking about 5'1". Like I was tiny.
Mm,
So I always had that heart of a lion. Like
yeah,
I got this chip on my shoulder. I got to show
Napoleon
them a little guy.
complex.
Exactly. This little guy can do it. So yeah, that was kind of on the sports side, but then on the educational side, after being in the gifted program and being exposed to things like robotics, my
Mm,
mindset was, hey, I want to be an engineer.
okay.
The
Okay.
thing about that was I've never known an engineer, never seen one in my community. So I didn't even know what that consisted of. So I remember being in engineering class and they were like, hey, Will, what type of engineer you want to be? And I didn't
Yeah,
even
he's
know
like,
it was
yeah,
a
yeah,
difference.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
I
just
mean,
had
he's
to,
just like,
yeah, I had to recall what I heard one of my
what?
fellow students say. I'm like, a civil engineer. Didn't know what it consisted of. so, so that was kind of my mindset. I knew that I was in a lot of the advanced classes, taking college credits and things like that. Didn't really know where my life would go at that point, but I just knew, hey, I need to focus on my academics, stay set in that, and also focus on being a student athlete.
Mm, okay, and so, being a student athlete, how far did you go with that? On being an athlete overall?
Okay, so being a student athlete, I made it to the varsity level at high school.
Oh,
In high
nice.
school, so yeah, I played on the varsity level, and then going, of course, into the college, which we'll get into that. I was able to
Yes.
receive a scholarship to play basketball in college.
Shit.
Yeah,
You better you better go ahead with your bad self.
yeah, yeah,
Right. Yeah, and so
man.
speaking of that, because you know that, basketball, college basketball players are getting paid now. What is your thoughts on that?
I think they deserve it. I think
Yes.
they deserve it.
Mhm.
They're making these schools a lot of money, these
Yes.
networks a lot of money. Just knowing that side of the media, they're making a lot of money. So I think they deserving it and been deserving it for a long time.
Yeah, I
Mhm,
agree. And so,
mhm,
okay, so you said that you graduated, magna cum laude, because I'm used to
mhm.
saying valedictorian. I mean, I didn't know it was a magna cum laude in high school, so that's why I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm learning something here. So, but in your space is magna cum laude, magna
Cum, Magna cum laude.
Thank
Yep.
you. Okay, yeah,
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 we had
so
the tiers, so we had like cum laude, magna cum
right.
laude. We have valedictorian as well. Yeah, so we
Oh,
had
okay.
all the different tiers. Yeah.
Oh, it's different tiers. And what's the
Mhm.
order again? What's
I
the
think
tier?
it may be. I think I know. I think cum laude is the bottom.
Oh, all right, Miss Stevie.
It may be one in the middle, but I know Magnum cum laude is
It's,
the top, and then it's like the valedictorian and so on and so forth.
you
I
know,
think I don't really remember.
excuse me, Will. I have to, I have to check Miss Stevie right here. Excuse me, Will, because Miss Stevie being fresh. Miss Stevie being fresh. We know he's fine. But I think he's with someone. I don't think he's single. We're gonna get into that too. I don't think he's single. I've seen a beautiful fine specimen in one in these photos of his. So yes, but stop being so fresh, Miss Stevie. All right. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. No, I had to do that. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist.
Oh no, it's all good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes. See. Yeah. So right. So going into the high school space, Madam Cum Laude, student athlete, and
Mhm.
so did you go straight into college, or did you take a break in between? Like, what did you do right after?
So straight into college. Yep,
Straight
straight
into
into
college,
college.
and what
Yep.
college was that?
So I went to Central Methodist University. That's a small school in Fayette, Missouri. So that's probably about 2.5 to 3 hours away from St. Louis.
Okay. And so
Mhm.
what was that? Did you stay on campus? Did you commute?
I stayed on campus. Stayed
You
on
stayed on
campus. Yep.
campus. How was that?
Mhm.
How was that campus like for you?
It was a definite culture shock.
Yeah,
Like I
really.
said, I'm coming from
Oh,
St.
right,
Louis. Yeah,
right, right.
where we predominantly black. So to go to a PWI, so a predominantly white
Yes, right.
university
Hmm,
in
hmm.
a very small rural city or town, it was a huge culture shock. It felt like I didn't know how to communicate with these people. I didn't know like their lifestyles. Like a lot of these people are coming from small areas where they graduated with a class of 15 people. I'm coming
Mm,
from one of the
wow.
biggest schools in St. Louis where our graduating class was a couple thousand. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it was definitely a huge change for me.
It was an
It was
adjustment. How
adjustment for
Yes, and
sure.
how well did you adjust? Tell me how your adjustment look, because coming in as a freshman, coming in that space. What are some of the ways that you adjusted?
It was tough at first. It was tough at first. I would call home and I'm just like, man, I just feel like nobody really understands me. Like even even from a communication standpoint, I'm talking with a little bit of Midwest slang or Midwest, accent. People like, hey, what are you saying? We don't understand this, and that. So I kind of felt alone at a time. However, with me having a basketball scholarship, being a part of the basketball organization, I was able to find brotherhood there. And
Yes.
then I was able to kind of grow and learn and, experiment and try new things that I wasn't used to.
What
And
you
then
experiment? What you
it-
experiment? What you experiment?
I mean, just being in these small house
Uh-huh.
parties, these
Uh-huh.
people are doing different,
I'll be a
you know,
mess. No, I'll be a
yeah,
mess.
yeah, yeah. I know, like playing these different games with people and just all of these different things that I'm like, we would never do this. Like
You not got you
even in
Yeah,
St.
you were never
Louis,
used to that.
yeah,
Yeah.
even in St. Louis, when it came to like picking up girls and things like that, we would, hey, let me get your number, let me text you. These people didn't do that. It was
What they
straight,
do?
it was straight social media or like Snapchat and things like that. So
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
I don't even know how to talk to girls out here. Like, what's going on? So it was definitely a learning curve, a
Oh, it's a
huge
learning
learning curve.
curve, right.
Mhm.
Yes, but I'm glad that you was able to, navigate through that. Did you find it to be, because I mean, were you always, a sociable person? Was you socially awkward? Like, how hard was it for you? Was it challenging for you?
I feel like St. Louis. I mean, I've always been sociable if I know it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I'm all about different comfort levels, but St. Louis sometimes I feel like it molds you to be isolated or be on your own or be this mysterious person. Like if you're just this talkative person, you're not as cool because people know everything about you. So
Mhm.
it kind of pushes you to like isolate yourself with your small group. Like you have a small set of friends, small group of friends, and that was it. So that's kind of the mindset I went into college with. Like, hey, let me kind of be off to the side, just cool, nonchalant. But I learned in the real world that only takes you so far. The
Mhm. Mhm.
coolest person in the room may be only subject to what he's subject to. He's not going to be able to grow, network, explore. And then it was also funny, like in St. Louis, with it being small, everybody is so infatuated on where you're from in St. Louis. Oh, you're from this side. That means you're
Oh,
tough.
yeah.
You're
Yes,
if you're
yes.
from
Oh,
this
yeah, yeah.
side,
Mhm.
you're the best athlete. If you're from here or there. And then I went to college and they're like, oh, you from St. Louis? Cool. And then on to the next. They don't care. It's people from 50 miles away from St. Louis claiming they're from St. Louis, and it's okay. So I'm like,
Yes.
wow,
Yes.
have we been tricked? Like that is not as important as we really thought it
Right,
was.
because you know what it is? I think, to me, Will, I think it's all about diversity. I think they appreciate the diversity,
Mhm.
and
Exactly.
I think that's, a good thing, and,
100%.
yes, and I think and I'm just kind of, giving my little perspective here. It also it speaks volumes because you were saying that you was in a PWI type of setting, and that, and a lot of us. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get into something here. Sorry, not sorry, y'all. Okay, so
Let's do it. Let's talk
us
about it.
as us as colored melanated individuals,
Mhm.
we tend to be so how should I say it? We tend to be so narrow minded when it
Mm.
comes to diversifying in our cultures. Like we are the ones that have that divisive mindset.
Mhm.
Or like the stereotypical mindset, like you mentioned about, oh, you be from St. Louis, so you have to have this, or you have to be surrounded by that. you know, it's just that narrow mindset. But I think to me, when you are in a different setting among other people, among other groups of people, they are more receptive. You know,
Mhm.
that's how I see it. They're more receptive. You
Yeah.
know, to diversity. They appreciate more of where you come from, and they're able to kind of absorb whatever your culture has to offer. So
Yeah.
they're not so tuned in about, oh, where you from or where you they're not influenced by that divisive nature. They have more of a united front when it comes to certain aspects. So
Yeah.
that's just my take on that. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I
might.
think I think it's very environmental. Yep, just
Hmm.
based on your setting and what you see, like just in daily living. Because if you're all you known is all right, these people from a couple blocks over, we don't like them. We don't even understand why we don't like them. We don't understand how we could come together. We just don't like them. That's just all you know. So you abide by the rules of the land, which is
Right.
sad. And that's why
Yes.
I push us to explore. Leave your hometown, even if it's for a short
Yes.
period of time. Go to college, stay on campus, just explore because the things that you thought were normal are probably not normal. Not, I
Yes.
mean, majority of the time.
Hmm.
And you learn that when you put yourself out there, when you try new things, it just destroys a lot of your previous mindsets or
Yes, it does.
previous thoughts. Yeah.
Like, because when you remain, because that's called being sheltered. By the way, when you're
Mhm.
sheltered, and like I said, you have that narrow mindset. It kind of it creates a whole beast. It's a whole nother beast, that it
It
creates.
is.
Because when you are when you we talk about culture shock, because when you are in that space, especially when you get into certain spaces when you're older, oh yeah, that's hard. That's even hard.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's like, when you reach a certain space in your life when you're older and you're so close-minded to the idea of being different, or you're close-minded to the idea of this could be, this approach could be different. It just could be kind of it's dangerous territory. But
It
shout
is.
out to Tony Rebel. He's from St. Louis as well, so he's kind of
Okay.
agreeing with some of the things that we're talking about here. So shout out to him as well. He was
Shout
kind of
out to
agreeing
him.
with what yeah, he was kind of agreeing to what we were saying about the adjustment phase and adjustment process. But what did you study? What was your major?
So going into college, like I said, sports was solely my mindset. I'm like, hey, I didn't play sports all my life. Because at this point, engineering was out of it. The
Okay.
school that I decided on, I ended up deciding on it based on that being a place for my scholarship. They didn't have engineering. So I said, okay, engineering is out. But I can't see myself outside of the realm of sports. So I initially, when I went to school for sports management.
Okay.
So I started off in sports management, and then I sat in that classroom with my other teammates, who a lot of them don't really care about education. They don't show up to class.
Mm,
Other like because the school is filled with a lot of athletes. It's like if you're an athlete, you're in choir or cheerleader or something like that, you come to this school unless you're like a local. This is not just a school that you like dream about going to. It's a school full of athletes. So I'm sitting in that classroom. Nobody's doing it. I'm studying. I'm doing study guides. Nobody's
right.
doing it. I'm like,
Mm,
is this what I really need to be doing? And then what really kicked the can over was when we had somebody visit us. She worked with a Major League Baseball team. And this is one of the top Major League Baseball teams at the time. She was a head of like entertainment, a head of a department, and she was just talking to us about her life and her job and everything. And then we asked her about her pay. We said, hey, can you be transparent with us? And we just inquired about her salary. And at this time, I think it was roughly 2016. And she was like, yeah, I'm making 30,000 a year with all of these responsibilities. She's able to set up
mm.
this. She directs the commercials. She brings all the celebrities in and everything. She said she made $30,000 a year, and we everybody was like took back from it.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
and she was like, "Oh, it's okay when you have a partner and this and this and that." We're in college. We don't have partners. We're out here surviving on our own.
Right, right.
So that was another huge shift in my mindset. I said, okay, it's already not, it's not fulfilling that part of me that wants to learn, that wants to be educated. And now the top of the top is getting paid that. I said, I can't, I gotta make a transition. So
Oh, uh,
that's when I end up transitioning into nursing, even though it was always kind of in the back of my mind, but
yeah,
that
because
was
yes.
something that pushed me.
Yes. Let's get into that. Yeah, what made your mind shift into nursing, especially, because we've seen like I've seen like I think within the last I think 10 to 15 years, I've been seeing more and more male nurses, which is so cool to
Mhm.
me. So I'm just
It's
wondering,
great.
like, yeah, so what made your mind shift into that?
So, like I said, it was always in the back of my mind because even growing up, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents as well, and I feel like the grandparents at that time, everybody stayed together. So
Okay.
my great grandmother stayed with my grandmother. Sometimes my uncles lived there. My
Mhm.
great aunt, my this and that. So I spent a lot of time with my grandparents as well. So always being that helping hand for my great grandmother, um, that instilled the value of helping others into me. And then, of course, as we talked about, just from a career growth standpoint, I knew that it was no ceiling for nurses. You can always
Oh yeah,
educate yourself
absolutely.
further. You can grow. You can transition. You can travel. So I knew that was working for him. And then also at that time when I broke my hand and I was kind of going through that depressive
Yeah.
stage, it
Mhm.
kind of is like how like on Scooby Doo when they pull the mask off of the
Yes.
the
Yes.
villain. That's what was going on from a sports standpoint for me. I saw the business aspect of it. I saw how sometimes in sports you're just a number. Like I hate to say it like that, but hey, I was promised all of these beautiful
Oh,
things,
there's no
all of
guarantees
the
at all.
yeah, I,
Yeah.
I was promised all of
Mhm.
the shiny things, but then as soon as I was hurt, they threw
Oh.
me on the shelf.
Mhm.
It was like almost like I didn't
Damaged
exist.
goods. Damaged
Hmm.
goods.
Damaged
Mhm,
goods. So
mhm.
I was like, hey, I have to um think about my future. Where am I going to have the stability and foundation that I want? And I knew healthcare was always a great space for that. So it
Wonderful.
was just all of those things kind of amount. Of course, I had great guidance from my parents, even though they weren't in healthcare per se. They knew who I was and they knew where my heart was. So they felt like
They
that
felt
would
that you was
be,
equipped. Mhm.
yeah, they felt like I was equipped. So they kind of also said, hey, we're going to leave this decision up to you, but we feel like that'll be a good
Wow,
area
that's
for you.
amazing, Will. But, I
Mhm.
have a question, on, 'cause I'm between, StreamYard and Instagram Live, and so
Absolutely.
I have a question from your fellow, St. Louis, native. Tony Rebel asks, "Was SIUE a choice for him? They have the top nurse program in the region." What's
Okay. So
SIUE?
SIUE was
What's
always
that?
an
What's that?
option.
What's that?
That's
What's SI?
Southern SI, Southern Illinois, Eastern Illinois, something like that. Southern Illinois University. Um, so, but you got to think about it at that point, my mindset was solely on sports.
Okay.
So at that point, whoever
Right.
was willing to give
Right.
me a
Take your
scholarship and
time.
pay for me
Right.
to come,
Right.
that's where I was going. So I had a lot of offers from Mizzou. I had Texas Southern. If I would have went to
Okay.
Texas Southern, I was going to pursue pharmacy. A lot of these
Mhm.
different options, and we explored the campus. We talked to the professors, we talked to the deans, and all of them were ready for me to come. But I just had that mindset like, hey, I want to be able to fulfill that goal that's kind of been burning in me since a kid. I want to be able to come back to the community and get praised, and because we looked up to the athletes that came back with all of their gear and
Yes.
they
Yes.
had their big college shirts on, and everybody, hey,
Mhm.
how's college? How you doing? How's it doing? So we aspire to be those people. So I'm like, whoever's paying for me to go and play basketball, that's what I'm gonna
I'm
do.
right there. Yeah, so,
Mhm.
and thank you, good Mitch. It's, Edwardsville.
Yeah, yeah, it was real. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
real.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you,
for
good
sure.
Mitch. Mhm. Yeah, so, yes, I know, like, I just I see it, like, how you just your when your energy shifts when you talk about how you just want to continue to be the inspiration to others, and
Mm,
so, yeah, I noticed the shift in your energy, when you talk about that. It's like that level of excitement that you give.
yeah,
I
definitely.
respect that so much. But let me ask you this. I want you to talk to someone here. Um, Kind of speak from where you are right now to where he was. Can you talk to him? It's just kind of like give your voice to where you are right now to where he was back then.
Man, that was an emotional time for me because this was the point where I was at like maybe the tail end of my nursing program. And when I said the ups and downs of just being like, we understand that nursing is probably one of the hardest 4-year degrees. So just the trials and tribulations for that. Me being the first African American male to graduate my program
Get
ever.
out. It really is that right?
That's right. So
So
I
that's
think
a
my
you know
school,
what? Oh wait, hold on now because I don't want
I
you to
can't
gloss
just
over
brush
that.
past
Yeah, I
that.
don't want you to go because that's a
Yeah,
Black History Month moment here.
absolutely.
Speak it one more time for me.
Yeah. So the
First,
first African American male to graduate my nursing program ever in school
man,
history.
that's Black History moment right there. You know,
Yep. And I think my school
yes.
was established in like,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's 1906 or 1806, but hundreds of years at this point, and I was the first African American male to graduate the nursing program. So
Yeah.
it was all like, and I understood that. So I knew it was like a chip on my shoulder. And me also being the first male in my family, period, to ever graduate college, go to college and graduate.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was like, man. So me to get to that point, it was a very emotional time. But just looking back, I would I would just tell them, man, you're on the right track. Keep being you, being your authentic, genuine self, and it's all gonna pay off.
Yes. it remained stuck, and it remained up, and it stuck from there.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, Will, I'm so proud of you. I
Yeah,
am so, so proud of you. Yes.
yeah,
So going into that space, you getting out of the nursing program, and you got your degree in
mhm.
BSN, correct?
Yeah,
BSN.
BSN, yeah, Bachelor's in
Okay.
Science and Nursing.
Yes. So let me ask you, before you got out of that, now when you was in that program, you had to participate in like in the clinical side, like you did the clinicals, the internship.
Yep.
Can you give us more about that?
Okay,
What you have.
so I'm gonna give you some more background just on just the process
Oh yes,
in
please.
general. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you do the 2 years of undergrad, which is your prerequisites. Which I did great in. It was, I always was focusing on school, and then we had to like apply to get into the program. We had to do things like the T's test. I did very well on the T's test and got accepted into the program. And just being at this time, I had dreadlocks. I
Ah,
was very, stylish, streetwear.
I'm
I
so glad
was,
you cut those off, Will. I'm so glad you cut them off. Yes.
I was the complete like opposite of what this program was used to. Like,
Okay.
I felt like at times they even didn't know if I was serious. Because I
Mm,
remember like when I was trying to get my schedule, they like, so you transitioning to nursing? I'm like, yeah. They like, that's one of the hardest degrees at this school. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. They like, are you sure? Like they kept asking me. So then it got to the point where I had to meet my advisors, and my appointments would constantly get canceled,
hmm,
canceled. Would constantly
hmm.
get canceled. And I was God, I didn't know what to do. I would reach out. I'm talking to home, trying to get guidance. I'm one of the first people to actually go to college, and nobody can really give me guidance. They just say,
Yes. Mm.
persevere, just keep going, don't let anything
Wow.
hold you back. So then I remember after maybe about a year, I finally met with my advisor. They just gave me my schedule, like this is your schedule, just kind of figure it out.
Figure it
And
out.
I did.
Yeah.
So then I finally met
Mm,
my advisor, and we went over my transcript, and they were in awe. They like,
mm.
wow,
Yeah,
like your
yes,
GPA is so high. This is
yes.
how is this possible? How are you able to do this? And then when I hate that it happened like that, because it was a great program. Don't get me wrong. Of course, sometimes you have some bad apples in the bunch, but when they saw that it was kind of bigger than me, but they were full steam ahead. They were like, but whatever we got to do, even though I was already committed myself, we're going to make sure you get to the finish line just to,
Wonderful.
yeah,
Yes, so
influence
you know
and
what?
help people
Yeah.
going forward.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so I can see, okay, so now I can see why your energy is so, so shifted on you, inspiring others, and,
Mhm,
being able to be in that space to just kind of, take something with you because of what you
mhm.
said about that whole generic speech about, here you will go, well, live long and prosper, so it's like they just kind of, do you to the wolves, so to speak. So now I see
Yeah.
why you want to, present yourself in a different way
Different fact.
towards others.
Yeah.
So I get that. So yeah, thank you for that. But I also want to
Yeah.
let me
On the
share some
clinical side.
yes, I want to share some comments
Oh, okay.
with
Okay.
you from Instagram Live. She's Good Mitch said that's so amazing. He really did beat the odds. So I just want to share that with you.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
thank you,
Yeah,
Mitch.
they're loving on you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the clinical, get back to the clinical
Yes.
side.
Yes. Mhm.
Um, Going into the nursing program, I didn't really know what it consisted of. I didn't even know what clinicals were. I was still kind of in and out with with basketball as well. Shout out to my coaches at that time. They were they they were very they were great. So because the nursing program requires so much from me. So it
Mhm.
had got to a point where I was like, hey, I'm about to give up basketball because I'm pursuing nursing. And they were like, hey, you don't have to. You can, whenever you're available, come. But if not,
Mm.
do what you need to do. Looking back, it's because I was making the team GPA look good. But
Oh.
all right, that's
Hey,
neither here
hey,
nor
one
there.
hand wash the other.
What- Yeah, so I didn't really even understand like the clinical aspect or what it would consist of. So I just kind of, like you said, got thrown to the wolves, and I had to figure it out as I went. And then after being in the clinical setting, I was really focused on psych. I'm like, I think psych is a space because growing up and coming from the environment I come from, I started to understand that these people that we label as crazy or they have all of these different issues is
Mm,
based or rooted in a psychiatric diagnosis. So
yes,
I said it's gonna be so important that the people from where I'm from are able to seek guidance or seek these resources
yes.
because they're suffering internally. So I was really kind of set on psych leaving the nursing program. But I kind of was veered away from that initially because other nurses that had experience in the setting, they understood that if you go the psych route, it's a beautiful route, don't get me wrong. However, it will kind of box you
It
in
would
as a
drain
nurse.
you. It would
It,
drain
it,
you.
would, it would drain you and then box you in as a
Yes.
nurse on the clinical skill set side.
Okay.
Because
Mm,
these usually, when people are in psychiatric crisis, they are medically stable. However, they just have a chemical or emotional
imbalance.
imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So you're not dealing with IVs or IV medication or antibiotics or ventilators, all of these different skillful things that you need as a nurse. So if you go that route initially, it'll be hard to get back into the skillful clinical side.
So you want to get more into a wide range, an array of
Array,
different skill
or
sets.
just to have the ability to try different things, or
Yes.
hey, let me explore in the ICU, let me explore in surgery, let me do these different things. But I know those are skill heavy, skill based specialties. So you have to have that skill set to be able to make that transition.
Yeah, and so, and with that being said, Will, I really need to know because being a nurse and who I tip my hat off to you, but being a nurse, it has so many challenges. You have so many different
Does.
personalities, and I'm sure that people like Miss Stevie don't mind your bedside manner at all. So, with that being said, the demands of it all, different schedules, different demands, different hours, different people, just surrounded by so much that's going on at once. How do you center yourself? What are some of the things that you do to just kind of, just channel that energy into practice self-care, and how do you, maintain the mental space that you need um to manage it,
To
and to
endure,
endure it?
definitely.
Yes.
I would always put it back on my background and my history. Like I said, coming from St. Louis, it equipped us for a lot more than we could imagine. So sometimes a lot of these situations are tough, but just knowing where I came from and what I had to deal with, sometimes it doesn't harm me, or it's not as harmful to me as it was before, a person that didn't have to go through some of these things. But being a nurse, 100% transparent is tough. It is very tough. You're dealing with some of the sickest people on earth. You're dealing with people they're in their toughest situation they ever had in their life, them and their family. You know what I'm saying? We're exposing ourselves to infectious,
Yes,
non-curable
yes,
diseases.
yes.
Like we have a lot we have to deal with, and then it's kind of always having the anxiety of somebody's life is in my hands, and my license and my livelihood is always on the line. So it is very important to find, I would say, a safe space to decompress,
Yes.
find ways
What is
that
yours?
you could. Oh, so for me, I just do so much outside of work. That's why, like, I stay with my name, Humble Star Will. It's just I'm multifaceted, so I make sure that when I'm at work, I'm caring for my people and doing the best I can. But outside of work, other than when I'm creating my content, I'm doing other things. My mind is elsewhere. My mind is on entrepreneurship. My mind is on growth. My mind is on health, working out, meditating.
Traveling.
I'm traveling. I'm
Yes,
trying to
you're
do
very
better
well
with like
traveled. Yes.
meditating. Yeah.
I'm so jealous of that. You're so well traveled. I've seen the pictures. I'm like, "Oh my god, I wanna be there. I wanna be where you are." Okay, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
traveling is like my medicine just because I get to see the world, open my mindset, learn about different cultures and the new things that are going on that I'm not used to. So, like I said, just finding something that you can center yourself and just I would say just become refreshed for the next time. And even though you try, it's still gonna be tough. It's
Yeah,
day to day, every day. You just gotta understand, hey, I'm serving the community. Whatever sprinkle I can um sprinkle whatever good I can sprinkle into somebody's life, I'm doing the right thing.
yeah, and you are. And yeah,
Mhm.
and thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate
Yes,
that.
absolutely. I really mean that from the I mean that. But yeah, but I wanna, know something, and I know it's gonna, be hard to single out just one, but I need to know, like, what is one of the, worst experience you had, as a
Worst
nurse?
experience.
And give me one good one.
Okay. Worst experience I've had, man. I would just say a conglomerate of COVID.
Mm,
COVID was a tough
mm,
time, and you gotta understand, I
yes.
graduated in 2020, so I'm a new
Oh, so
buck.
right, you at the peak of it,
I'm at
yeah,
the peak. I'm a new buck at the
yeah,
peak of COVID and working in the ICU. So I'm in the medical ICU, and we specialize in pulmonary. So pulmonary is the lungs, how your gas exchange with your lungs and oxygen. So that's what COVID was attacking the most. So I remember when COVID like came into our hospital, came into our city, because of course they always popped up in New York. It's appeared here. Okay, now it's in St. Louis. So now it's just slowly getting closer. Now I was in Columbia at the time. It's in Columbia. And
mm,
guess who we were the biggest trauma hospital. So the first patient I was working that night that reached the city was on our ward. So just the constant things that we had to endure. When I say like death on a daily basis,
yeah,
like
mhm,
just pushing the bodies to the morgue and the morgue being overfilled, and
mm,
it was really hard to see like the progression of the disease or the illness. One day he'll come in, patient is talking to you, they're just having a hard time breathing. You're
mm,
like, okay, but they're still cracking jokes. They're still their self. The next day, because we usually work 3 12s in a row. The next day you'll come. Now they're on a BiPAP. So it's an external device to help them
be
oxygenate
able to
where it's
breathe,
actually like
mhm, mm,
forcefully pushing oxygen into the lung.
mm,
Okay, so
mm,
now you come back on the third day, this person is fully on a ventilator, cannot breathe on their own. Their body, their system is breaking down. And then by the end of the shift, sometimes they pass away. So you're like, wow, just seeing that progression, that was hard to deal with. That was
yes,
very
that's
hard to
heavy,
deal with. It
mm.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And I thank you for sharing that, the fact that, and that's a great example, by the way, as far as, being able to share some experiences during that challenging
Yeah.
time. So, yeah, thank you for
Definitely.
sharing that. So what about a good experience?
A great experience was probably when I took the leap into travel nursing.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So it was very tough because I feel like you always have that little voice in the back of your mind, like, be comfortable. You could just stay
Mhm,
here. Don't
mhm,
don't
mhm,
uproot what you have going on. You're in a good position. You
mhm.
don't know if you're ready. It's always gonna be that little voice in the back of your head, but you have to, be grounded in your faith, trust yourself, trust your gut, and take that leap. So I remember I did my first travel assignment, and it was just so fulfilling. and rewarding. And I knew that that's what I wanted my career to look like going forward. I wanted to be able to touch people in different cities and states and
Yes,
deal
yes.
with what's crippling this community over here. And
Mhm.
I couldn't just do that if I was subject to just staying in one place.
Yes, and I'm so glad you made that, decision,
Mhm.
to be able to, again, going back to diversity, not just diversity, but being able to, just add some type of, health maintenance to those, that needed more because it's, other certain countries, certain places that needed so much more because they don't have as much resources here in the US. So, thank you for that as well. You
Yeah.
know. Now, so now I want to get into your business as far as your scrubs. But before we get into that, I want to know, can you give me some final wordage when it comes to your overall take on nursing? And also, before we get into that, how healthy are you? How healthy would you say are you?
I would say I'm pretty healthy, pretty
Okay,
healthy,
okay,
because I just seeing what I see on a daily basis, it pushes me. And then knowing that a lot of our unhealthy traits are usually rooted in
genetics.
our genetics, environment, and like background and our
Mhm,
learning. So uh, I just try to be better every day. I'm texting my family, hey, how did your blood work come back? How did this look? Hey,
mhm.
make sure you're not doing this. Make sure you're not doing that. Because I understand, I'm understanding the healthcare setting, and I understand what just being healthy and going that extra mile can really do for a person.
I can, and I want to, and that's a good segue, by the way, because before we get into your final words on nursing, I also want to get into. I don't know if you heard about Kevin on stage. He had posted about how he had his annual physical, and he was encouraging black people to go see the doctor, and he got so much backlash from that. I don't understand
Mhm.
why, but he got. I don't know if you were aware. So
Oh no, I
eh,
wasn't.
yeah. So okay. So you know, if you remember Kevin on stage.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, my audience, Kevin on stage is a content creator, actor, comedian. Um, he's known for church comedy. So he had posted a post about him, like I said, going on his annual physical, encouraging black people, especially see the doctor because a lot of us do not. Especially black men, unfortunately. And so he went back on to respond to all the backlash he received on him encouraging black men to see the doctor. And Will, I'm telling you, they said some dumb, ignorant stuff saying about, oh, he came from having his finger stuck up his butt, and oh, well, God is in control, and there's nothing about, it's all about, prayer and herbs will be able to do the trick. And yes, I do believe in holistic health now, and I want your take on that too.
Mhm.
Holistic health, yes. Prayer, yes. God is in control, but God has people in place for a reason. Let's
Mhm.
come on, let's be real
And
about that.
I
Come on.
always challenge people with
Yeah.
that as well, because even in the Bible says faith without works is dead. So you have to do the
Mhm.
work. You
Yes, you
can
have
just
to
have faith
you
all
gotta
day
check
long,
yourself
but
exactly.
you gotta do the work.
Do the work, and so, yeah, so so he was getting that backlash, and to the point he was like, "Okay, well, then you know what? Fine, don't see the doctor. Okay, let's see how that works for you." So I just wanna, I was, hoping I was trying to see if I can get the, well, you know what? While you talk, Imma try to find it, okay?
Okay, okay.
Alright.
Yeah, no, he's 100%, he's 100% spot on. That is very important that we seek guidance from medical personnel. And I always emphasize this: just because you seek guidance,
Yes.
that is going to give you a baseline of what's going on. You
Just
still
yes.
have the free will to make the decision on whatever you would like to do, but to at least have the numbers, the solid numbers, or the solid assessment from somebody that is medically trained is very important. And then it's important that we also, when we seek guidance, we do our own research. We talk to people that
Yes.
are also specialized in that specific setting, and we just do our own outside work. So I
Yes.
think that's very
Yes.
important. Sometimes people feel like whatever they go or whatever information they receive is law. It can be if you would like it to be, but it's also important for you to do your own work, do your own due diligence on yourself because you are your own person. But that's just like, okay, I'm never going to take my car for an oil change. I'm
Yeah.
never going to take my
Yes.
car for a yearly inspection. You are the most high tech
Mhm.
organism machinery there is. So if you don't go for your yearly maintenance or your yearly inspection, what do you think
Right, right, you think is gonna happen. Yeah, so,
Mhm.
and then also let me ask you, can you give us, some key points, because, we have a lot of posts, and I've seen a lot of things on social media about what type of things you should ask, your doctor, what type of exams you should get, what type of panel blood work you
Mhm.
should do. Can you give us a little idea? I know it's a lot, but just overall, give us a little cliff
Yeah.
note about that,
Okay.
you know?
Something that I think is very important. I try to get a yearly. Well, not try. I do get a yearly physical. I get a yearly physical. I want to get all of my blood work done. And that's in terms of like a CBC, which is just your blood panel, BMP, which is your basic like electrolytes. I also us being black melanated people, it's very important that we ask about things like our vitamin D levels
Yes.
because with
Yes.
us being sometimes in cloudy settings, we're not outside, we're in our cars, we're in our house, we're in the air conditioning, so we're not getting adequate sunlight, or maybe we're
Mhm.
not eating appropriately, so we're not being able to replenish everything that we're excreting out. So I ask about things like vitamin D. Um, I mean, it just when you start getting to certain points, like certain ages, you have to start looking into different things. If
Yes.
you're
Yes.
if you're younger, STD screening that is
Yes.
very important.
Yes.
Um, Also, when you're older, you can also look at your diet and kind of determine, oh, hey, like me, I'm a snacker. So guess what I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna look at my
Mhm.
A1C level. So this is my blood sugar levels
A1C.
over time.
Yeah.
Because you might be surprised, you may be healthy and fit, and then you get your blood work done and you're pre-diabetic. Like,
Yes.
I don't want these things or these aha moments for to guide us on our health. Like, oh, okay, now that I'm pre-diabetic or I'm
Right.
type 2 diabetic, now I just gotta
Don't
drop
let it get to
everything.
that point. Yeah, don't let
Don't
it
get
get
it
to
to
that
that
point.
point. Let's just
Yeah.
slowly
Yeah.
taper it down so we never have to get there. So yeah,
Yeah.
so those are some things that I would make sure that I would get even a urine
Yes.
screening. So urine
Yes.
screening, blood work, A1C levels, vitamin D. And even though I'm in healthcare, which encompasses everything.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oral hygiene is very important
Oh,
because
yes. Absolutely.
I've seen time and time again people. That's the only thing that people like. They may take care of themselves head to toe,
Mm.
but their oral
They
hygiene
can't stand the
is
dentist.
is
Mm-mm.
not on point. They don't go to the dentist, and then
Mhm.
that results in things like endocarditis. So you would never know that your mouth is the pipeline for your entire
Can
body.
you tell us what endocarditis is, please?
So that's the inflammation of basically for just to not use too much medical jargon. It's just inflammation of the heart. So
Mm.
it's a heart disease, and
Okay.
it stems from like bacteria that's into the bloodstream. So the quickest way into the bloodstream is through the mouth. So if you
Yes.
have constant
True.
bacteria
True.
and cavities or things that need to be filled in your mouth, guess what? It's going straight into the blood and straight into that heart. So, oral hygiene is also very important just from the grand scheme of things in terms of
Yes.
your health.
Because we take for granted everything goes together. Everything goes
Yeah.
together.
It's
Everything, flows together. Like
one
you can't
polished
function without
machine.
the other. You can't
Mhm.
function one without the other. Yes. So with all that information, thank you so so much. But let me give you this clip. I'm sorry you. I think I'm sorry if you heard some stuff in between, but I was trying to get that clip that I was talking about. With
Oh,
Kevin on
yeah. No,
stage.
you're good. No,
Yeah.
perfect.
So yeah. Let me see what he says
Me
here.
and go to the doctor. I'm a black man. Black men traditionally have a higher rate of not going to the doctor compared to, women in other races. So I'm a black man talking to black man. That's why I say black men.
Now, I have a similar delivery as Kev. I'm not as intense as Tony or Marcus are, but men, especially black men, please go to the doctor. It's just once a year. So many men were talking about if you just eat right and exercise, you don't have to go. But I can tell you, genetics still can put up a huge fight. Please go and at least know what your numbers and your status are, especially if your family has a history of any medical issues. I watched my granddad become a living skeleton because cancer ate him up. That's the pattern I've seen with a lot of people, the uncles, the dads, and the brothers having medical issues, and nobody really know what's going on because the men barely know what's going on, or they're too stubborn and prideful to even communicate it with those they care about. It's wild. To highlight how bad things are, when I started going to a PCB back in Nashville, the first appointment, he was like, "Oh, your girlfriend or your wife must have set this up for you." It's like, no, I care about my own health. I plan this on my own. Drinking water or ginger ale and laying down does not cure hypertension. Speaking from experience. If you're concerned about blood pressure medication, no, it will not mess up your manhood. And if it happens to have any kind of side effects, you can change the dosage or the medication. Just talk to your physician. Now, there were several men who were fixated on getting poked in the booty. I'm concerned if you spread your sheets when you take a shower. You got to get in there. Now, several physicians have said the way they test it has changed. Now, if they still happen to still need to do the old-fashioned way, those few seconds of discomfort could still lead to years of your life. Weigh it out. The final thing I'll say about it all, if you're out here slinging and dinging, please add a STI, STD check on part of your physical. It'll give you peace of mind, and whoever you're talking to peace of mind to be able to show a clean and updated my chart. Everybody's clear on what's going on.
Boom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So so I just wanted to, bam, right, Duke, there it is. So I just want to make sure that I shared that. And so, and that's all the things that you've basically echoed right there. So I'm gonna have that clip in the description box, by the way, as well. So you refer to that, because that's exactly what Will had just pointed out. So that's why I wanted to get your take on.
Yeah. So just to even like he brought up a very valid point. Just to get those stats and those numbers, even if you don't act on them, you can at least spot a trend.
Be aware.
All right. Yeah. So if it's this year, it was slightly high. Okay. Now it's increasing. Now this third year is very high. You can spot the trend and you can make adjustments accordingly.
Oh, Will, do say. The name sound familiar? It said it was your do say. You said that he's your daddy?
Do say? No. That's not my dad.
Because he said my son. I'm like, that's why I'm like, do say. Is your dad on social media?
No. Oh, Deuce. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's my boy.
Oh, Deuce.
I said Deuce.
Oh, Deuce. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's my boy.
Oh, okay.
He said my son. Yeah. Yeah, he being silly, bro. Shout out to him.
Wait, pronounce it. How you pronounce this? Is it
Deuce? Deuce.
Oh, I'm sorry, Deuce. I said Deuce. I'm sorry, Deuce. I'm sorry. Yeah, shout out to you. Thank you for joining Will and I on this live. I appreciate that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So yes, thank you for those. And please make sure that and I'm gonna make sure that these are one of the clips I'm gonna highlight as well, to make sure that you are taking health maintenance very seriously, because if you take those annual physicals, it won't lead to having to do it 2, 3, 4 times a year. So, if you do it once a year and then you just maintain, because I had just a little insertion here, because my mom, I was surprised because normally, she does her mammograms, and she does, but one time we was having a conversation a couple of years ago, and I just happened to ask her, like, when was the last time you had a physical? And she said about 20 years. I said, what? I was so
You'll be
shocked.
surprised.
Yeah, but my mom is usually, she's so vibrant, my mom is like, and I would think that she would have been on point with this. I would have think that she kept up with her health, So once she did that, though, like, let me tell you here. Once she did that, and she shared with the nurse and the staff at the clinic that, my daughter told me, make sure you go see the doctor. And she's like, yeah, your daughter is right. And so I was surprised, right? And so when she went there, that's when she started, like, her blood pressure elevated, and they had to, treat her for certain things, and that normally happens just in the nick of time. You hear so many people say, my blood level was so high, and they're surprised that they was able to walk. They were surprised they was able to you'd still be standing, because they would have been, you know, total opposite of a being
Yeah,
alive right about now if they
definitely.
didn't catch it in time. So don't do that. Don't just barely make it by the skin of your teeth. That's my point. Don't
Yeah.
just barely make it like Will said, be on it, be early detection is so important. Make sure you see the doctor or
Yes.
other doctors, whatever specialist you need to see. Make sure you keep track of your health, people. So that's what we're trying to tell you here. Yeah, but so in the healthcare aspect, Will, any final words on that as a nurse, as a healthcare professional? Any final words on what we just talked about?
Okay, so my final words on healthcare is, if you have a heart for healthcare, you have a heart for helping people, it's definitely for you. And we need you. People that look like you and people that don't even look like you. But speaking even to my black people, black men, black females, we are so needed in this profession, because you don't understand just the light that a patient has in them when they see somebody that they can relate to, that they feel like
Yes,
understands them. It just changes the entire trajectory of their healthcare stance or what they model themselves off of. So it's very important that we continue to educate ourselves and we continue to maneuver into these spaces, and we're needed.
absolutely, and thank you so much, Bill. And I want to shout out Miss Kimberly Black. She's be my co-host from time to time.
Okay.
Kimberly Black says she's listening in from the clouds. She's preparing for the Super Bowl as well. I'm not a sports person, so I'm sorry. Yeah, but thank you for being here, Kimberly Black. I appreciate your support always. All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna just kind of get jump into the you know your business of it all. Your
Okay.
scrubs, your scrubs.
Okay. So this scrub actually,
Wait a minute, Will.
that's
Wait a minute, Will.
okay. Hold on. Okay.
Okay.
I was
Oh,
about
no,
to say,
okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
this is a brand that I work with.
Yeah. So I just
Okay.
wanted to say
Okay.
that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, no, you okay. So that's not actually my brand per se. That's
Oh.
a bigger brand that I'm a partner with.
Oh. That you. Oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
affiliate with.
Yeah, I affiliate
Oh.
with them. Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah. No, 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 it's all good.
Yeah. So okay. So what is your business? What is your company?
So right now at this point, like I said, Humble Start is more of a media brand. So I work mainly with myself being one of the sole creators in it, but I also help other creators, kind of guide them. But it's mainly just monetizing on social media, you know, working with different brands, partnerships, doing promotions, and kind of just building the healthcare community from the lens of me.
Got it. Okay. Duly
Yeah.
noted. Yeah. So how was it? Okay. So when you launched that, can you just kind of give us an idea of I'm trying to phrase this the right way. Um, what type of I don't want to say what type of success you gained from it, but how did people benefit from it so far? I just want to say, how do people
Okay.
benefit from it so far?
A lot of people are benefiting from just the inspiration associated with it. When I was in school, I didn't have anybody to really look at that was even remotely close to me or what I wanted to be. Yeah, like I said, I'm a black male. I enjoy hanging out with my friends. I enjoy sports. I enjoy um, fashion, traveling, things like that. I'm not just this ideal, what you would think, or maybe what they were promoting at the
Right,
time, a nurse to be. And I know and understand that it's a lot of people in that same pool like myself, that hey, they want to do this, but when they're not clocked in, they want to do this or do that. So getting just inspiring a lot of people, knowing, hey, If you do things correctly, if you focus and ground yourself in your education and create your foundation in healthcare, it's the sky's the limit. You can do so much. So
Absolutely.
that's, of course, monetary value and all of that is
Absolutely.
helpful
Yes.
and great as
Yes.
well. I don't want to just brush over that like that's not important, because it 100%
It
is.
really is.
It's,
Yes.
yeah, it
Let's
100%
be
is.
realistic
But
here. Yep.
that's yeah, we got to be
Mhm.
realistic. So that's definitely perks of it. Of course, being invited and being and even in situations like we're in right now, just being able to communicate with different people, share your
Yes.
story,
Mhm.
and just let people know that it's attainable is very important and very rewarding. So I think that is kind of the things that keep me going and a lot of the success that I get from it.
So when you okay, let me go back a little bit because you had said some about when people feel like being a nurse that there is like such a gray area when it comes to it or such a limitation. Why do you feel that way, Will? Why do you feel like do you really believe that there's some people that just don't believe that there's more to more to it than just being a nurse, or more to who you are than just being a nurse?
I think it's influence and exposure.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
You
sorry.
get me? I said, yeah, I think it's influence and exposure. So what you've been exposed to? When I was a nurse coming up, and I would tell people back home, they would be like, "Oh, really?" And they'll just brush right over it because they felt like nursing. Only time they heard about nursing, it was a female. It's a female dominated
Yeah.
profession,
Right, right.
so they're not used to males in it. They're not used to seeing males or even hearing it. So it was a point at a time where I kind of felt even embarrassed to say that I was a nurse. So I just
Oh,
say, hey,
wow.
hey, I'm in healthcare, and just
Wow, really?
try to brush
Mm,
past that, because, like I said, I didn't see anybody that I can say, oh yeah, I'm a nurse. You know this nurse, this, that. Oh yeah, I know that person. Yeah, I'm similar to them. That person didn't exist. So I said, let me be that person so that people can
right.
lean on, or they can show their friends, yeah, he's a nurse, but he's able to do this. So that may spark that person or person that they're talking to actually, okay, dang, that looks cool. I didn't know nurses were able to do that, or nurses live that type of lifestyle outside of
Mhm.
nursing. Let me do my research. So if I could
Yes.
just spark that in somebody, I feel like my job is done.
Yeah, absolutely. And because I mean, you because that's the thing about you, you just have so many so many elements to you. There's so much more to you. So and you'll be able to have such a well-versed, conversation, well-versed
Yes.
aspect of things. So I just really appreciate about you as well, that you're able to just share that. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that you overcame, that closed-minded effect of, being a male nurse and not, wanting to talk about it, not wanting to, be ashamed about it. But and I also wanted to ask you what you when you mentioned that, were there any moments when you felt I mean, I know it's plenty of those, but
Mhm.
what was one of the most pivotal times in your nursing career? And I know we kind of go back to nursing and your business. No, let's do both. Your
Mhm.
nursing and your entrepreneurship. What was one of the most pivotal times in those spaces where you felt discouraged and you didn't believe that it was for you, or you had those? I know sometimes you had those moments, of
Mhm.
discouragement. So, what were some of those moments, and how did you overcome those?
Okay. A lot of those a moment that I like, just it's always in my mind, lives rent free, is I was actually still in nursing school doing my clinical rotation, and being a young black male in these different facilities where that was an anomaly. Like, a lot of these patients
Mhm.
never seen a black male, especially a young black male, in these type of settings.
Right.
So I used to get a lot of pushback from a lot of my older female patients.
Really?
So yeah, they wouldn't allow me to do assessments. They wouldn't want me to shadow their nurse while I'm
Hmm.
doing in the clinical setting, and that was pretty discouraging. Also, just not really getting the support back home from friends or family when I told them that was the career that I was choosing. That was super
Mm,
discouraging. But going back to the clinical experience, my professor pulled me aside and pulled me into like it might have been like a supply closet or something like that, and talked to me and was like, "Hey,
sorry, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
you hear you
Yeah,
hear me?"
I hear you. I hear
Uh,
you.
okay, yeah. So my professor pulled me into like a supply closet and said, "Hey, you look at me. No matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody does, how they treat you, you supposed to be here. You worked, and you're one of the best student nurses I've ever taught.
Mm,
So you are supposed to be here and you deserve to be here no matter what anybody says." And I understood that, but just to hear that coming from somebody, especially this was a white female, older white female, to
I
say
believe
that.
it. I believe
And
it.
I'm like,
Hmm.
wow, if she could see it from her
Yeah.
perspective,
Hmm.
anybody should be able to see it.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that
Yeah.
that was very like a pivotal time because I'm like, dang, if I'm gonna be dealing with this type of things in all of the work settings, should I even waste my time? Like, is it space for me? But that 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 message that she gave me was very important, especially with
Yes,
that
it was.
being the beginning to what my career is today.
So let me ask you, out of curiosity, the nurses that you mentioned didn't, felt reluctant to to allow you to shadow them. What was their ethnicity?
Usually white females. At that
Mhm.
time, I was in like I said, we're in a rural area. So it's not a lot of diversity. And it's a lot of people that are only sheltered and subject to what their environment is. So they probably only seen black people on TV at this point
Right. Okay.
because they probably move in a 5 mile radius of where their life is. So absolutely, it was a lot of white females at that time.
Got it. Yeah, so I just wanted to read this comment from Diamond Bab Collection. She said, "Young man, I just want to say congratulations as a woman trying to go through nursing school and now taking prerequisites is not easy, and I battle with whether I should continue. So I'm proud of you. Thank
Yes.
you for that. Thank you for that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so see, you get so much, you get so much poured into you. You see that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I appreciate
yeah.
it all.
Yeah, yeah. So now let me ask you. So we were gonna get into some fun stuff. What do you do for fun? I mean, other than the traveling, your social life and your dating life. Do you still have a dating life? I don't want to assume anything.
Oh no, I'm locked down. I'm
Yeah.
locked down. Yeah,
Is this beautiful young woman that you locked down with?
it is.
Yeah, that's good.
It
Oh, yeah, that's
is.
see Miss
Yeah.
Stevie. Look at Stupid Stevie.
Yes, that is. That's
Yeah.
my
So how,
sweetheart right there.
yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah,
So can
yeah.
you give us can you give us your love story? Like how did this come about?
Okay, so we actually met in college. Met in
Oh, a
college
college
and kind of
sweetheart.
yeah, college
Oh,
sweetheart and been trucking along since then. All of the ups and downs, like I said, nursing and her career as well pulls us sometimes in different directions,
right.
but we always
Find the
recenter
middle.
and make it back home. Yeah,
Yeah, you always find the middle.
yeah.
Okay. So you gave me okay, I mean, give me a little bit more meat and potatoes here. 'Cause,
Meat and potatoes of that.
'cause every time, 'cause every time I ask about I love to hear love stories. So because you don't
Uh-huh.
have much black love left. There's not
Yeah,
much
yeah.
black love left. So and I get the same thing. Oh, we met, and we got together and happy ever after. No, can you get a little bit more gravy in there? Like, okay,
Put
you met in college,
some
you
more
know,
season on it.
give me a little bit more Lowry's, a little
Okay,
adobo.
okay. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah. So we met in college. That was like a tough time for both of us. We were definitely going through some hard degrees. So she's an accountant.
Oh,
So
oh,
yeah. So in order to like, we almost, I don't want to say like school trauma bond, but we did. And then we just kind of
Right.
found out that we had so many similarities, even though we're from vastly different places. So she's from Curacao, which is island in the Caribbean.
Right. Right.
So we learned that even though we're different and come from like very different backgrounds, we're the same in a sense.
Right. In certain areas.
Yeah.
Certain
In
areas.
certain, yeah, and
Right.
yeah,
And I think that's fine. I mean, it's because I mean, you have to have your individuality as well as being able to, be able to bond as a collective. I mean, that I think that's ideal anyway.
yeah.
All right.
And then her being a person, she was well traveled way before me. So
Okay.
like I said, I had the when it came to traveling, I was still in my St. Louis mindset. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go
Ah,
here and go there,
okay.
but
You
I'm
wasn't
I'm
as
all
diverse.
I'm working, I'm working, I'm working. So she definitely was that push, like, hey, you need to go see the world. You need to experience this. You need to be open to trying this. So I feel like without her, I probably wouldn't have been in the position in terms of mindset, traveling, and just
Wow.
exploring new things than where I am today.
That's wonderful. And yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to her. And I also want
yeah,
to ask you also, because I'm sure you had your share of dating other people, which I hope you have, that you explored that,
yeah, yeah,
to kind of
definitely.
because that's how you're able to know, you're able to know who your one is. So how did you know that she was your one?
My one, I would say, hmm, that's I like that.
Mhm.
When I knew she was the one when no matter the ups and downs, she just wanted to be with me.
Mm.
And even when things get like tough, like of course you don't want to have to put. Sometimes you don't even want to put people through the tough things. You're like, oh, I gotta deal with this on my own.
Oh,
I,
no,
I
yes,
gotta I
yes.
gotta do some shadow work. No matter what was going on, the ups and downs, like the highest ups and lowest lows, she was just there right beside me. So I said, man, this is like some storybook stuff. It's something that you can't get everywhere.
No, you can't. Yeah,
Hmm.
and because they don't make them like they used to. So I'm glad that you was able to find each other at such a young age because it's so hard out there, because and hold on to whatever you have because it's
What's
not worth
good? Yeah.
losing. It's not worth losing in this pissy date pool right now. So please make sure that you know, hold on, make sure that God is always at the center. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Is that your spiritual belief?
Oh yes.
Okay, I want to make
Yeah, oh
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so make sure that God is in the center of that, and like I said, it goes on from there. So thank you for sharing your relationship with us too, because a lot of people don't. They really skeptical about sharing their personal lives. So maybe that's why you did the whole happily ever after thing, and that was it. So I had to kind of pull teeth with the meat and potatoes. So so I understand you being protective of your personal life. So I get it.
Yeah.
You know, but yes, so Nurse Will, I want to have a little fun with you.
Okay.
Because I know we covered so much, and I appreciate and I enjoyed every minute of it,
Yes, I
and
did
I
as
think
well.
yes, thank you. So I want to do a little this or that.
Okay.
Here they come, yo. Here they come.
Mm. Yeah, so this or that. So I random stuff I put out top of my head. Sometimes I got to think of things on the spot, but nonetheless, you have to choose one or the other. You can't pick
Okay.
both. You can't say you can't be the fifth. Either one or the other. All right.
Okay. Let's do it.
Okay. So aspirin or Tylenol.
Tylenol.
Okay. Are you a butt man or a breast man?
But for
Okay.
sure.
He said for sure. All right. Okay. Let me I'm gonna get more deep into this. So holistic health or conventional health.
Based on our diet, conventional.
Okay. Fine. 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 So now I'm gonna get into because I know I love me some music. So I'm not so um Outcast or Goody Mob. Are you familiar?
Outcast.
Okay. Oh, you said that real quick.
Yeah, outcast.
Okay. All right. Um, Duran Bernard or Luke James.
Luke James.
Okay. All righty. And so let me see. Oh, God, I just had different strokes or sister.
Different strokes.
Oh, you like different strokes? Okay.
Oh yeah.
And just a quick little fact here. I parented a lot through those sitcoms. I was able to school my son on a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
things through those sitcoms.
With
Yes.
different
I
strokes.
just want to
Yeah.
share that real quick. Yes. Okay. So Let's Get Married by Jagged Edge, the slow version. You familiar with the original version, not the
Mm,
remix, but the original version of Let's Get Married.
okay.
Okay. And it wa- that no, Let's Get Married and I just had it too. See how things escape me? But I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna get it back. Hold on. Let's Chill by Guy. Let's Get Married by Jagged Edge or Let's Chill by Guy.
Let's Get Married, Jagged Edge.
Okay. Now I don't know how far back in the music, because I'm an
Okay.
oldies person.
Yeah, because
You know,
I'm a
you know,
young pup.
yeah, no, but still, do you listen to oldies? Because I want to make sure that I'm,
Oh yeah. I dip in
on your
that.
lane. Oh, you can?
Mm,
Okay. All right. So let me see. If you're not familiar, then that's fine. You let me know, and I can just change it up for you. All right.
okay.
I'm just like I said. I'm just an oldies head. All right. Okay. Charlie Wilson or Jeffrey Osborne.
Charlie Wilson.
Okay. All righty. Now, now speaking of that, now we're gonna, get into that lane.
Uh-oh.
Outstanding, the song outstanding. Okay,
Mhm.
and Back in Love. Outstanding, the song outstanding, or Back in Love. Back in love. Every
Back
time
in
I
love.
lose my lose. Okay, all right.
Back in love. Yeah.
Oh, you said,
Yeah,
all
I
right.
gotta go. I gotta go back into the history
Yeah,
for these.
yeah. See,
I'm
I'm
like, let me
see.
go back to my auntie house. What? Okay, okay.
Right. I bet you gonna do that now. Like as soon as the interview's over, I can see you on your phone now. Like, hey, let me go here. Let me add to this my playlist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Air Force Ones or Jordan.
Jordan.
Okay.
Mm,
Um, okay. Hospital or clinic.
hospital.
And tell me why.
Hospital setting, you get to build a stronger skill set where you can go to the clinic later.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Now I don't know how you a tea person, but chamomile tea. Oh, you know what? Not just for your leisure aspect, but in the health aspect. Chamomile tea or peppermint tea,
Peppermint tea.
and why?
Uh,
Like like as
honestly,
far as in the health
honestly, I
in the
like
health.
oh, from a health aspect.
Mhm.
Honestly, I wasn't even looking at it from a health aspect. I
Oh, you
just
wasn't. Oh,
picked it
okay.
based on
Oh, based on
taste. I
based on
like,
taste. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
I feel like
That's
it's
fine
more
too.
peppermint tea is kind of soothing as well.
Okay. Now, Caribbean or have you been? Okay. What a Caribbean? What? Why you look at me like that?
Cause I'm biased.
Uh
It's
oh.
Caribbean over anything.
Don't be biased. Okay. Let me.
Curacao. My
Okay.
girl from Curacao. That's in the Caribbean.
Okay. Um, see now I gotta go deep. Okay, now okay. Let me be more specific. Let me come at you
Okay.
another way. Let
Okay.
me all right.
Okay.
All right. So 'cause I don't know. Have you traveled to Africa?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
So
Um,
it's coming up though. Coming up
it's
for
coming
sure.
up. Yes. Asia. I know you've been to Asia.
Yeah, been to Asia. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Bali,
Yep. Yep.
Bali or Jamaica.
I never been to Jamaica, but I'll probably pick Jamaica.
No, 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 no. Okay. No. Let me try that. Bali or Bahamas.
I never been to the Bahamas either.
You've been to, so
Only
what
place in the only place in the Caribbean I've been is Curacao.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
see now you're gonna and that's what you're gonna choose, right?
Oh yeah. Oh everything.
Okay, so mango or pineapple?
Mango.
Good job playing with me. Now these are the last two questions before we wrap up. These are two questions that I enjoy asking and I enjoy the answer that I receive as well. So now, oh, you can ask your question, Diamond Bab. Ask your question. I'll catch you when you type it in the chat. Um, if you had the opportunity to have 5 people at the media table, dead or alive, who would they be and why? I need the why
Okay.
for each one. Each one, dead or alive. I need the why for each one.
Okay. Martin Luther King for sure.
Why?
Uh, Martin Luther King, just his influence, his voice, the things he was able to accomplish in that time is is outstanding. And everything he stood for. Martin Luther King, I would say Jesus Christ.
Mm.
Can't go without having Jesus there. He's the know all be all, you know. So gotta have Jesus there. Alive, I would put Barack Obama.
Mm.
hmm Um, Barack Obama, just being the inspiration for just black people across America and just standing on his core principle values, and he never changed from that was beautiful to see as being a kid. Like I remember my family crying when he was
Mm.
when he won the presidential race.
Mm.
LeBron James,
Mm.
that's my favorite athlete of all time.
Mm.
And
But
number five, hmm, there's a lot of people that can go into that number five. I would say my great granddad that came from Mississippi, getting freed as a slave and
Mm.
navigating through Tennessee, and then finally ended in and this is my great great grandfather that finally ended in Missouri, like what he had to go through, what he had to endure, and why.
Wow. That's an amazing table. I want to be a fly on that wall. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, now who would get the big piece of chicken and why?
The big piece of chicken is going to Jesus for sure.
You better,
Yeah,
you better give your daddy the big piece.
gotta give it to him. Hey, he can have the whole table too. You
Right?
know, bless
I
the
hear
table
you.
for us.
Right? All of that, all of that.
All of
And
that.
don't
Yeah.
make this the last supper yet. Don't make this the last supper yet,
No,
Jesus. No, not
it's
yet.
the first. It's the first.
Yeah. So before I get to my next question, I wanted to Diamond add this question. Hey, I wanted to know if you being a young male nurse, do you feel like women throw themselves or try to throw themselves at male nurses because that's what I always hear, and that's a good question, by the way.
Okay.
And it's the second part. They say it's you said it for men, but I don't get that vibe from you.
Oh, okay. So to answer that question, if you are a minority in any situation and you're doing well, I mean, people can throw themselves at you just in general. I don't think it's solely nursing. I mean, but I know a lot of people try to
Oh,
associate the
oh, they
two
say it's
because
hard
it's a,
for men. Okay, she meant to say hard. It's like they say it's
oh,
hard for men, but I don't get that vibe from you. Okay, yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean it can be hard, but I don't think it's a solely a nurse, just a nurse thing.
Mhm.
It's any profession, like even in the office space, on Wall Street, in on the construction site, in the factory, wherever you are. I feel like if you're a catch, you can be a catch wherever. So yeah, I mean it happens, but I feel like nurses definitely get a bad
Mhm.
rep,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I know the
it's
patients
because
flirt with you, right? I know the patients flirt you because I mean, be honest with you, I would. I would be if I was your patient, I'll be flirting. That's just my nature. I don't mean no harm.
sometimes,
Yeah.
but in the shoot in the situation, there's not a lot of flirting going on. Because if
Yeah,
you
no,
make
it's
it into
not.
that, if you make it into that hospital setting, yeah, you probably got some stuff going on. So
Yeah, yeah.
you're not
That's the
really
main
even,
focus.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
not even really thinking about that. But yeah, nurses can sometimes get a bad rap, but I don't think it's like everybody really says it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Mhm.
thank you. She said, very well answered. She appreciate that. Said it's mostly always women in nursing. That's why I asked that because where I work, it's only two male nurses and women flock over them. Okay, Okay. Might
Yeah,
be a
I mean
setup
everybody.
there.
A
Mhm.
lot of times when you're in a female dominated profession, you want a male perspective. So when it's so little men there, you have to, yeah, you have to try to, get talk to them or
Mhm.
walk over them as much as you can, I guess.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, well said, well said. All right. So now this is a question that I love to ask as well. And it's taken from the late James Lipton from inside the actor studio. So humble start will. When you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want God to say?
Welcome. This this land is for you, and I want you to do as you please. And
Ah,
yeah.
I love that one. Oh, I got to start doing. You give me and that right there gave me an idea. I got to get a compilation of those type of responses there because you be hitting that one hit. Okay, yes, I love that one.
Yeah.
But well, before we end here, I just want to kind of do a little bit of pouring into you. Because I mean, you already in a space where you seem content and you seem well into your profession as well as your personal life and able to balance it all. And as a young man, just getting started, basically, you're just getting started. I really want to commend you and making history, as the first, you said first black nurse in the state of Missouri, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
at the university.
Xavier University. And so you made black history um, continue to be that beacon of light that we all need. And not just younger peers, but us as well. Continue to be that beacon of light. Remain the hope that we need because I think that we are living in a challenging time right now where it's so many of us that are just um we're like in such a dangerous space right now, because we see it in social media and of all of the different negative spaces that we're in right now. But remain that beacon of light for us. We definitely need that. And I thank you. I humbly thank you so much for taking the time to come on my platform. Please don't make it the last, because I
Oh,
really want to shed light on, you know, not just the underdogs, but just leave the safe space and welcome this type of occupations, different perspectives, in the way that you are able to just kind of handle it all and just kind of just embrace it all. And then for that, please take your flowers, sir. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. Thank you. No, I appreciate you for having me. It's been a very insightful conversation, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. And I definitely will be back.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give it up for Humble Start Will in the building. Make sure that you thank you so much again.
Thank you.
All right. Right. Yes, so that was Humble Start Will, and he's very humble. I mean, he wears his name very well. And I really, like I said, the words that I said to him are extremely sincere, So I just want you to, understand that because like I said, he's my son's age, and that really makes me even more proud, of him, to be able to be in this space to where he's able to connect with me in a certain in such a way. Because I mean, even though I know he's able to connect with the audience as well, but I had this, infinite connection as I want to say mom, I want to age myself, but as an auntie to a nephew, so to speak, just to be able to just kind of sit there with such pride and just like this glimmer of you know, just everything that we were able to just kind of just be in that space and just be able to just get into so much. And I just really, really thank him so much for sharing this space with me. I thank him so much for the service that he provides because that is such a challenge. So I want to make sure that I bless him with his flowers while he's still here, right? So on that note, I want you to make sure that do what my man Calvin Michael says. Do this for me, y'all.
Like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, you gotta like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, I
If
like that.
you like the
Yes,
content,
yes,
share
I
and
like that.
subscribe. Oh,
Yeah.
you got to like, share, and subscribe.